I'm Carrie, and this is a battered copy of The Outsider by Albert Camus, a French writer who published this in 1942. It is set in Algeria in the 1930s. The main character is Meursault, who, as we meet him, has just been informed that his mother's died, and he then travels outside the city in Algeria where he lives to arrange a funeral. And we quickly notice that he shows very little emotion in his mother's death. And this is remarked upon by people at the senior facility where she lived. His lack of visible emotion, is matched by his actual emotion. He simply doesn't really react to anything around him. And as the story goes on, we see he is very much an outsider to life, has trouble engaging deeply with anything around him. Now, what happens is that at the halfway point of the novel, it's divided into two parts. He is on a beach, and I won't go into all the details if we got there, but he murders an Arab who has been tangentially involved with, but for really no good reason at all. It seems more of an impulse than anything else. The second half of the novel is his imprisonment and trial. Now, this is a very famous novel, one of the key texts, really, of the last century in literary terms. And it certainly lives up to its billing, and it feels as modern as anything produced in the last 20 years because of the questions it asks about how modern life affects us, why we obey all kinds of unwritten rules and regulations that govern our behavior and demand certain reactions and emotions from us. And that's just on one level. On another, it has a political tone, although this has been argued over the years because it demonstrates the racism inherent in the French colonies at the time, in that he simply murders the Arab. Notably, this Arab is not given a name. He's anonymous, as one would expect French colonists at the time to regard the Arab population as an undifferentiated mass of laborers. And what you ask yourself, could this have only happened through unconscious racism on Meursault's part, that he feels nothing about killing an Arab? It's like killing a dog. And then in his trial and interrogation and his imprisonment, we see he continues to not have any particularly strong emotions. The only ones he really seems to flare up is when he is in prison and remembers things that pleased his senses, like such as sex with his girlfriend, or swimming, or being on the beach. Emotional attachments to anything don't seem to bother him, and he basically says, when he's facing possible execution, he says, what does it matter whether I die today or 20 years in the future? Death is inevitable. And that is one of the key sort of discussion points in the book. It can also be looked at as showing how Meursault is a byproduct of the first half of the 20th century, not even quite the first half. Bearing in mind that Camus lost his father in World War I, returned to France that was still reeling from losing so many men during World War I, and then wrote it in the middle of another cataclysmic war. So from that point of view, he could certainly, it was easy perhaps to concoct a character who saw no meaning or value in life of others or in his own, because that seemed to be certainly what the history of that part of the world was telling him at that time. Telling Camus, that is. So yes, it's Excellent. The other thing I should mention about it is it's finely written in the sense that almost every sentence, every paragraph certainly, asks more questions of the reader than it tells the reader, because we are constantly trying to decipher the words and actions of Rousseau because they are so unlike ourselves. And, I mean, at times you might think, is this man autistic? Is he a sociopath, a psychopath? You are constantly wrong-footed in trying to think of what is happening here. Why is he doing it? So it is a fascinating, wonderful read. And time to plug my own book. Skeleton Palms, violent, dark thriller set in California and Nevada. Please check it out. It's on Amazon. Thanks. Bye.